We are finally at the fun part, step 2. I know it's been a while since we actually got to this step. You think this comes first, but it comes after all the financing, the home search. So we're gonna go into like the psychology behind it and some of the other logistical pieces, but we'll go through the timeline, like how long you should give yourself, finding the right home, hiring your real estate agent, going to different kinds of property showings, picking a house style and neighborhood that fits your life best, and understanding condos because they're a little bit more nuanced. So house search, start looking 6 months out. You can pull it off in 2 months, I would say, is like the bare minimum, because a month of that will be actually like closing the house. But give yourself 6 months to really start making sure that you know exactly what you want out of the house, the neighborhood, you've walked it a couple times, and you can find your ideal home. So what goes into finding your ideal home? The location, of course, the geographic area plus the neighborhood specifically, the features, how many bed, baths, do you need garage, do you need yard, do you need parking, type of home. So single family residence is what like a regular home that you might have grown up in or had in the suburbs is. Then condos, townhouses, and duplexes. Duplexes are houses, 2 houses together that either share a wall or share floors. Townhouse is going to be the same thing, where you have houses in a row that share walls together, shared some common spaces, but they're actually going to be separate units altogether. So it's a house that shares some of its walls. And then there's condos, which are basically apartments that you buy. So then there's types of homes. We have single family residences, which is like the generic house that you see in the suburbs that you grew up in, has its own yard. Condos, which is like if you own an apartment, basically like you buy an apartment where you've got shared walls, shared main areas together. Townhouses, which is a single family residence, but you share a wall and there are usually only a couple of them together. And then there's duplexes, triplexes, which is where you share a lot more of the amenities together. Either they're stacked on top of each other, they're stacked side by side. There's very little nuances between townhouses and duplexes or triplexes, but you'll see them listed as such. There's a buyer intake form that I linked that will help you organize all of the pieces that you might want to think about when actually trying to find your ideal home and when actually trying to lock down your ideal home and go through all of the exercises. I also linked my buyer intake form so you can really narrow down your preferences in all these categories. All right, hiring a real estate agent. You should get one that you like and hire. All right, hiring a real estate agent. I suggest that you find one at the very beginning of your search. When you're finding your lender or finding a real estate agent, usually they have suggestions from one to the other, and you should try to find them as early as possible because they're gonna do all the work for you. Like, they're the ones who are going to help you find the house. You don't have to scroll Zillow and wonder like, I don't know if I can ask this question to the seller. Your real estate agent will do that for you. So they have internal tools that regular people don't have access to. So you wanna hire them as soon as possible. And how do they get paid? So in most cases, they get paid on the seller's commission of the house. So technically, if you're a buyer, you are having a real estate agent for free. This changes sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't always. So this changes in different. So commission is something that you just want to be upfront with your real estate agent. Ask them how they get paid because it does change from state to state and from time to time. All right, types of property showings. An agent can show you. This is like what you see on HGTV. They walk through the house, they show you the whole thing. It's just yours and your time alone to look at it. Open houses on the weekends, super fun to go into, but you might be sharing time and space and kind of like opinions, overhearing people talk about the house. Just looking around with other people. FaceTime tours, this happened a lot over COVID, but sometimes real estate agents will be able to preview places for you, FaceTime you if you're living out of state, and then preview showings, really just what I said about the FaceTiming, but they're just taking a video of it and sending it to you. All right, neighborhood shopping and house styles. So your life is gonna be determined by the neighborhood that you live in. It's where your grocery stores are gonna be, where your kids are gonna go to school potentially. So just make sure you spend a lot of time in it before you purchase there. And then housing style is kind of same, like the layout of the house and like what style of house it is, for me at least, really determines like, you know, how I spend my time and like how family, roommates, whoever can come together in the space. Lastly, understanding condos. So people don't love condos because there's an HOA fee. It's a monthly fee for the housing association for you to pay to them so that they can maintain the building itself. So since there are so many shared elements of a condo, like the rooftop or like the exterior, the windows, there'll be a fund that they have set aside that you're paying into every month that then goes and covers these costs. So there's a president of the HOA board, there are members that are a part of it, you could be a part of it if you want to influence this, but it really allows you, if you own a condo, to have the lock it and leave it luxury. Like you don't have to have you can go away forever. You can go away on a long vacation or go home for the holidays, just lock your door, you leave, someone's gonna make sure that the water's still running, someone's going to mow the lawn. You really can get a more affordable place this way too, because since you have shared amenities, you're all pooling your resources together, and that's why condos end up being a little bit less to own, price per square foot most likely. And it's really something to consider, like, if you're buying a house and a condo for the same price, when you're buying a house, you're going to also have to find a gym potentially, and parking and storage. Whereas in a condo, sometimes they have those included. So that's where oftentimes condos can be less expensive because you don't have to have all these incremental lifestyle costs that are already built into with the condo ownership. So just something to factor into the financial equation, and that is step 2.